Is game journalism just a huge scam, Vosh? I see H-Bomb guy being, like, really critical of it, but never why. So here's the issue, okay? Generally, okay, so games journalism covers a very specific media outlet, obviously games, not, like, news generally, which means that the media produced is going to be pre-selected for the audience of people interested in gaming. And people interested in gaming don't have the same standards for journalistic credibility or, like, investigation that people might look for in a more traditional, like, journalistic outfit. The consequence of these... Oh, this is quite nice. Dogs. The consequence of this is that, like... Okay, okay, I was about to do a super pretentious rant, okay? Here's my opinion. There are two main problems with games journalism, okay? One, sites compete for clicks and views, meaning that everyone's trying to get a review out as quickly as possible after a game comes out, meaning that oftentimes these sites are, like, mass pumping out game reviews, like, as quickly as they can, just, like, right after these games come out. And it means that, like, there's no, like, deep, interesting exploration, and these games are being reviewed basically on how interesting the journalists found the first 6 hours of the game, which is really dumb. And second of all, it's that oftentimes the only reviewers and review companies that are allowed to have advanced copies of these games before they release are ones that generally give favorable review scores, to the point where there have been scandals where game publishers have threatened to pull review copies or not do them in the future when journalists have been too willing to give out, like, low scores to big AAA releases. So it basically means that, like, IGN is pumping out really fucking fast reviews with very little thought put into them, and also they're being paid, essentially, to make them good, like, positive reviews. Yeah, the Giant Bomb guy was fired for giving a game a 6 out of 10. Not just IGN either, yeah. Another big issue is that, like, oftentimes people only get attention for their hot takes, so you get a bunch of dumb fuck. There are good games journalists. After all, H-Bomb himself has praised the Rock Paper Shotgun triple-part review of Pathologic 1, which also got me into the game all that way back, you know? Here, wait, I want to try out what was the end of that area. It's not like all games journalism is bad or whatever, it's just... There are issues with the... Oh, Jacob Geller is great. I don't consider game review YouTubers to be, like, games journalists, though. I think there has to be some, like, professional association, because that's where a lot of the problems come from, right? Yeah, yes. Again, I'm not saying that, like, games journalists are always bad. Yes, I'm familiar with Noah Caldwell-Gervais. I think he makes good videos. Maybe one's in need of an editor, sure, but... Mandalore Gaming and Joseph Anderson do good stuff when they actually post. Hey, Mandalore Gaming posts pretty often. Mandalore Gaming's super consistent, okay? Joseph Anderson is the person who hasn't posted a video in a fucking year. Apparently, he's been going through some, like, depressive stuff, so I don't want to give him shit for it. I really do hope he's able to post more, though. Did I see Ice Pick Lodge came out against the war? No? But based. Isn't Joseph on hiatus? I think he talked about, like, feeling depressive on Twitter. Okay. Yeah, I like Mandalore Gaming a lot. A lot. Joseph Anderson makes shitty videos too? What the fuck? No, he doesn't. I think the main issue with Joseph Anderson is that he doesn't know how to have an efficient workflow, you know? You know how, what's the name of the YouTuber who posts 8 trillion hour videos on iCarly? Come on, I was just watching him the other day. Quentin Reviews, that's right, thank you. Quentin Reviews has an incredibly efficient an incredibly efficient editing process where he'll record the voiceover piecemeal and send off, like, bits at a time to editors to have them work on it while he's still doing his research. So the research and engagement he can do while he's recording bits. Now, that wouldn't work for Joseph Anderson, who does all his work on his own, because a full analysis of a video game, you can't really do that, like, piecemeal, right? Like, if you're taking it seriously, you can't. Like, you want to be aware of every element of what you're talking about before you start any part of the published material. But I still think there are things that you can do as Joseph Anderson to, like, really lighten the load with, like, a good editor, you know? Quizzotics. I think, I mean, depending on how fundamental you want to get with it on a philosophical level, I think that pretty much everything you're going to do in a review is subjective to some point or another. I think the best you can really do is back up what you say with arguments that are as objective as can be. The word that I'm looking for here is intersubjective, which is when something isn't objective in like a fundamental existential sense, but can be understood as objective within a given subjective framework. So, for example, I don't know if there's any such thing as what game objectively looks the best. However, I think you can make very strong intersubjective arguments that Elden Ring is gorgeous, you know, and looks better than, say, Bubsy 3D, based on appealing to subjective values that people hold. But I'm glad From Software realized that weapon durability isn't fun. Yeah, it's not. It's just not. Not in games like this, right? The limiting mechanic for exploration should be health, not weapon durability, because you can mitigate health loss by not taking damage, but as long as you're fighting enemies, your weapons will lose durability. I think it's different for Breath of the Wild, though. Different game, different system. Okay, hold on.